Hi, today we are going to talk about home visits. Home visits are a great beginning to a positive communication and relationship between the teachers and the students' families. When I say families, I mean mother, father, grandfather, grandmother, and siblings. And if it's a joint family, even uncle and auntie too. Establishing a strong foundation through home visits is only a first step. Nurturing this relationship through a consistent communication is critical to maintaining them. So, home visit is just a first step, and nurturing it with the continuous communication is what teachers are supposed to do. Today, in this video, we're going to talk about all the odds, do's, don'ts about the home visits. Teachers often find themselves wondering why their efforts at organizing opportunities for parents to become more involved in classroom activities do not pan out. They send written reminders with the students, make a phone call, sometimes email, WhatsApp. With the repeated attempts to communicate with parents, sometimes they are left unanswered. Many teachers become very much discouraged and begin making negative assumptions about parents' involvement. So, what is the solution? Home visits can establish positive contact and communication with the families. They are not replacement for parent-teacher conferences or parent-teacher meeting in the school, but are a process through which teachers demonstrate their support for students' families by visiting the home environment. Sometimes home is a difficulty than an alternative location where family and the teacher feels comfortable and safe. Home visits should originate from a sincere desire to assist and work with. Now, if sincere desire in the teachers are not there, then probably home visit is going to fail. Home visit promote positive interaction through which teachers provide authentic support while recognizing family strength. Please pause this statement and listen to it again. For teachers interested in conducting home visits, the principals interested in conducting home visits, here is some guidance. Do your research properly. Teachers may be reticent to implement home visit because of the time commitment and the effort involved. But there are thousands and thousands of cases and testimonials from the teachers and families about the successful home visits. But without systematic school support and teachers' ability to carve out time during the school day to conduct a home visit is limited. If school is not supporting, then the home visit is going to limit. If teachers feel it is a pain, then it won't happen. For those who are determined, being well informed about the benefit and reward as well as the challenges of home visit is very important. Once teachers commit to making home visits, they can take steps to research, plan for, implement, and document the whole process, which is very important. Documentation is very important, and we are going to be discussing the documentation too in the later part of this video. Know your families is the second point. One consideration is learning about student families, their communities and neighborhood, languages or cultural differences, and work schedule. Being culturally responsive when conducting home visit, communicate respect while demonstrating genuine interest in the family's rich heritage. So, knowing the family is very important. Plan strategically. Teachers who regularly conduct home visits advise establishing contact with parents before the school year begins. Even before the school year begins, the home visits are planned. So teacher pair up with the student or any other teacher. They travel together to the student's home, introduce themselves to the parents during the vacations, and build a strong relationship. The first visit should be focused. Now, this is very important. The first visit should be focusing on building relationship, extending support, actively listening to the parents, their concerns, and their insights. For transparency and safety, the home visit schedule, including the location, time, and date, must be provided to the school staff by the principal. Be very flexible. Parents may not always feel comfortable meeting at home. If parents are not comfortable meeting at home, fine. There may be many alternative locations, such as nearby library, a quiet cafe, a fast food restaurant, may be very appropriate venues for family-centered visits. Being flexible may also mean meeting on weekends or the day off when the parent has got a day off. Home visits must be planned in advance. And if the siblings are there, then two teachers can join together and do the home visit. Next point, focusing on the strength. A teacher who enters the home without any non-judgmental attitude, views the home through the eyes of the family living, and sees the family strength, is perfect. You must be culturally responsive, you must be equity-minded, and you must be positive. You have to convey the trust and respect. If the teacher has got a concern about the student, then a feedback technique can be used. Teachers must praise, and that must be concrete and genuine. Before going for the home visit, create a concrete action plan. Actively listening to the parent insight, concern, and ideas for the child demonstrate authentic interest and respect. On the first home visit, teachers should not take notes, because then the parents are going to distrust or being suspicious. And if the teacher asks some questions, where the parents have some questions, then the teacher can take mental note and come and later have a voice memo or jot it down. Reporting back to the principal is very important, because then only it is accountable. So, reporting back to the principal about the meeting of the parent meeting and the student meeting is must. I'll speak about some of the instructions, some of the do's and don'ts while doing the home visits. See, class teachers are like the guardians of the students. So, teachers must be aware of the family background so that the right education can be imparted, right counseling can be done to the students. Keeping that in mind, some very good schools have a tradition of home visits. Teachers get closer to the family, and the parent, student, teacher interaction gets far more better, and a better teaching learning process. We must take care of these following points. Whenever there is a home visit, first the address and the phone number must be confirmed. A prior appointment is mandatory. please do not go to any house without a prior appointment where mother, father, grandparents, uncle, auntie, siblings, all of them have to be there. The student must be excited. The parents must feel excited that the teacher is visiting their house. And if you go without appointment, they are not going to be excited because they might not have that preparation at home to receive and welcome the class teacher. So please ensure while you are going, you take a proper appointment. When you go over there, take a report of the student. Take the disciplinary report. Take the attendance record. Take the marks of all the assessment, unit test, periodical or whatever, half yearly, whatever it is. Take the student's remarks with you. Reports regarding general cleanliness, attitude, dress, eating habits must be there with you. Fee ledger must be there with you. So these records have to be there with you while you're visiting. Then there is a record form which has to be made, which has to be taken to fill up. You have to report to the principal or the vice principal or the coordinator about that you are going for this particular home visit. And whatever points have been discussed has to be notified. Whatever request parents have made must also be notified and done it. Fee details, if any pendency, must also be communicated to the parent. If there is a transport arrangement, then follow up with the transport in charge in advance. You have to be very, very polite regarding the whole talk. You cannot get aggressive. No anxiety should be there. You have to be very polite. A follow-up plan of all the observations and complaints, if any, must be reported to the principal, vice principal, and if action must be taken on it. You must remember, if you are visiting home, there is a complaint and you have not solved it out, then the school is going to suffer double. For the principals, some points of review. Teacher must take a prior appointment. Please communicate it very clearly. Every member of the family must be present over there. With the class teacher, make a team of any co-curricular teacher or a sports teacher. Home visit form must be carried out. Principals and coordinators also must visit parents. Trust me, if a parent with a prior appointment visit a student's house, nothing can be better. The students' parents are going to feel very happy about it. The bond is going to be stronger and you will have a good word of mouth. I'll discuss about the points in the form. Teacher's guardian name, the teacher's name, student's name, father's name, mother's name, their profession, their designation, home address, phone numbers, date of visit, time of visit, duration of visit. And if there were any previous visits, please mention over there. Family members whom teachers have met, other family members, please write down the names. What you have to discuss, the areas of strength and weakness of the child to be discussed. And areas are for strength and weakness, regularity, punctuality, which teacher must know. Grooming, that is dress, hair, footwear. Quality of written work and oral work. Discipline and behavior in the school. Learning or grasping power. Attendance. Habits of reading newspaper or books. Best subjects or weak subjects. This parents can also tell, and students, teachers can also share their concerns. Handwriting, conduct, honesty, spoken English, communication power. Teachers must know well in advance, and plus they can also find out from the parents about the sports and game child plays. debate, extempore, writing or anything where the child has participated, in singing or dance, about the hobbies, about any science projects or art hobbies. If the student has participated in assembly, then it must be informed to the parents. You must get to know about the child's interest or activities, or if you know, you can communicate it. You have to ask parents about the views of their ward on, does the child is following regular timetable at home, the recapitulation timetable? Does the child discuss all the problem with you freely? Now this is parents counseling also. Here you are counseling the parents in a very humble and a polite way. That the child discusses all the problems with you freely. Regarding studies or regarding personal things also. Is the child playing at home, and if yes, then for how long? Is the child absolutely engrossed into digital media and ignoring studies? So you have to discuss over that also. Because you are the teacher, you can counsel. Any problem at home which teacher is able to identify or which parent is going to be telling? Does your child narrate to you the daily activities that is happening in school? You have to talk to the parent. You are asking in a different way. You are asking that does the child communicate or narrate to you what has happened in the school? At the same time, you are asking the parent that please give time to your child. How many hours does the child watch television or is engrossed into digital gaming and all? What is the child's favorite program or favorite game? What books child is reading at home? Have the parents set up the home library? If not, then set up a home library and you can watch the video of setting up home library. Do parents go through the child notebook every day? Do parents go through the child school diary or almanac every day? These are the questions you have to ask the parents, because this is counseling of parents. You're going to the parent to counsel them that you have to do all this. Do you compare your child with another children? You're asking the parent. You're asking a parent, for parent-teacher meeting, you want some improvement or you have some interest? You're asking the parent again, how do you motivate your child? You're asking a parent, how many times do you take your child for entertainment, picnic, walk and other things? How much quality time do you spend with the child? Quality time doesn't mean eating food or watching television. No, that is not quality time. How do you train and motivate your child into spiritual and charitable activities? Because parents have to train because it's a religious thing. So spiritually, parents have to train or discuss about spiritual and charitable work. Does parents know the child friends? How does child spend his free time or her free time? All these points, when you ask parents, they will understand, okay, what are their duties? And that can be done relaxedly sitting at home with the parent. So the bond, what you demand from parent, they will understand. The bonding will be stronger. The word of mouth of your school is going to be better. Your teaching learning process will definitely achieve the learning outcome which you want while teaching. You have to ask parents about this school, about their visit to the school. What is their view about the school? Any suggestions for improvement in the school? So you have to ask this from the parent and you'll get a very good feedback. And once you get a feedback, come and report it to the principal. Then suggestions given by the teachers to parent must also be recorded. All the suggestions the teacher is giving for the parent must also be recorded. Now, if you fill up this form and understand that the home visit is going to create a very strong bond amongst the parent and the student, then trust me, student is never going to fail in his or her life. After complying, after doing the compliance, principal's task or the teacher's task is put that form into the student's personal file. And student personal file, about student personal file, you can watch a video. So whenever there is a principal's handbook in principal's handbook, there's a principal's task grid. In task grid, when there is a review of home visit, during that day, please ensure that all your teachers are watching this video. Because they must understand, before going for a home visit, they must understand what is a home visit and how far it is significant. How far is it useful? How far it is going to create a bond, and what are the do's and don'ts? Without taking an appointment, please don't go. Parent must be excited that you are coming as a teacher. I'm sure this is going to be really helpful. The home visits are going to be very helpful. The students are going to feel very good. The parents are going to feel very good. They're going to be very excited when they see teacher at home. I'm sure you might have found this video useful. If you have found this video useful, please do subscribe to the channel. You're going to find a lot of interesting videos. You as a teacher, you as a principal, I'm sure you will grow professionally watching all the videos we have in our channel. Principal's Diary and Handbook. Principal's Handbook and Diary. Thank you. Have a great day.